Do you have an MTHFR gene mutation and wondering if methylfolate or treating this MTHFR gene alteration is going to help your anxiety or possibly make you feel worse and be more of a hindrance to resolving that anxiety? My name is Dr. Terranella, and in this video, we're going to look at the MTHFR gene alteration, how it's connected to anxiety, how it's connected to both the production of neurotransmitters and also the breakdown. And we're going to be looking at some of the comments made by Gary Brekka on this topic and hopefully help you get a more firm understanding of how this genetic alteration can be of use to you in your life and your health. If you're liking the content that I'm making and getting benefit out of the videos, hit that like and subscribe button to continue getting these videos. As I said, I make these videos to help you really understand what's going on with your health, but it's not made for any specific person. So please read this disclaimer before we jump into these details. So in this video, I wanted to explore in more detail some of the comments made by Gary Brekka in one of his videos about MTHFR gene mutation and whether or not methylfolate is an anxiety help or hindrance. So again, first of all, his breakdown of the connection between MTHFR and how it affects neurotransmitters and other parts of the body is very simple and easy to digest, very easy to understand. And that's actually really good because I think it's going to help people understand in more depth just how important this genetic alteration is. The problem that I saw with it, it was almost oversimplified. And that's where some of the confusion may come from. So again, my take on the way Gary Brekka explained the connection between MTHFR and anxiety basically leaves you thinking that it can only help. It's only going to be a value add to your health. And this is not the case, as I've mentioned in many of my other videos on folate and methylfolate and how it can sometimes make things worse. And we'll look at why that could be. So there are some factually incorrect things noted, but I think his content is good overall because, again, it's bringing more attention and awareness and the importance of genetic alterations. So I don't want to point out every single incorrect statement because, yeah, sometimes we say things incorrect. Instead, let me share some of my own findings and understanding of the MTHFR gene alteration and its connection with mental health and specifically anxiety. So in one of his videos, he noted that methylfolate can help with the production of neurotransmitters and also help with the breakdown of neurotransmitters. Now, he doesn't necessarily say that in one sentence, but in one area, he's talking about how it can help with the production. In other areas, he's talking about how it can help with the breakdown. And if that's the case, especially if it's helping break down and produce in the same degree, that wouldn't they just cancel each other out? So you might get more neurotransmitter production and also more breakdown. So it's net just going to cancel each other out. One would definitely think that, especially if they're both working on those processes equally, but that's not really how it works in my experience and also what the biochemistry says. What it says is that methylfolate is not doing the production or the breakdown of neurotransmitters. Instead, it is connected, very closely connected to processes in the body or other enzymes that actually do these things. Missing this point can actually make a big difference. The difference in the methylfolate actually helping you or making you feel worse. So first, let's look at the breakdown side of neurotransmitters. Can treating MTHFR gene alteration or taking methylfolate help with this? Well, not really. It's more closely related with the production of neurotransmitters, but we'll look at that next. First, let's look at how methylfolate is related to the breakdown of neurotransmitters. So you need a functional MTHFR enzyme to make methylfolate, which is needed for converting homocysteine into methionine. Now you actually need B12 for this as well. Both of those are really important for turning homocysteine into methionine. And so a slowdown in the MTHFR leaves more homocysteine or a buildup of homocysteine and less methionine. Methionine then goes on to create something known as SAMe. And as mentioned in previous videos, SAMe is one of the most critical aspects of how MTHFR touches on so many different areas and aspects of our health. And one of them is the detoxification pathways, in particular, the breakdown of neurotransmitters. So methylfolate helps with the production of SAMe, but it doesn't produce it directly by itself. There's a few other enzymes involved in that process as well. But having enough SAMe or having the right amounts of SAMe will help with the breakdown of neurotransmitters, because SAMe acts like a cofactor in important enzymes, specifically known as COMT. This enzyme breaks down or helps your body turn dopamine and other catecholamine types of neurotransmitters like epinephrine, norepinephrine, and turns them into less stimulating neurotransmitters. These catecholamines are all stimulating neurotransmitters, and they can actually, when they're in too much high abundance, can actually make us anxious, prevent us from sleeping, and cause other problems related to too much stimulation, kind of like you drank too much coffee or got frightened from a potential life or death situation or arguing with someone. Your body's going to make more of these catecholamines as a result of that. Not having enough SAMe to break these down or having a problem with the COMT enzyme will lead to more of these floating around in your blood. So yes, you would think that having the ability to make that SAMe is really important, and so adding more methylfolate in when you don't have enough is only going to help, right? Well, not so fast. Methylfolate actually doesn't directly break down the neurotransmitters. As I said, there's several other enzymes involved in that process, and if you take methylfolate in the hopes that it's going to help calm you down or help you fall asleep, be prepared to be up longer than you anticipated. This is especially true if you have a genetic alteration in the MTHFR enzyme. The more severe that genetic alteration, the more deficiency or lacking in that methylfolate you are, and the more likely you are to be a little bit more stimulated from taking it, especially initially. Yes, this is a water-soluble vitamin, and eventually you will urinate it out, but that doesn't mean you can't become manic for a few days while you're taking that methylfolate. Now, of course, the effect of methylfolate on different people is going to vary widely. Some people take it and don't even notice and probably can go to sleep, and it is a dose-dependent phenomenon as well. But if you're someone that has a lot of anxiety and taking it in the hopes that it's going to help your anxiety, my message to you is just be a bit careful. Taking small amounts of methylfolate in the form of a multivitamin, something like 400 to 800 micrograms, most people aren't really going to notice that a whole lot, be very stimulated from it at all. If you're really sensitive, you might be, but usually when it's combined with all the other vitamins, B vitamins, then you're not going to notice it as much, specifically in like the multivitamin form. Now, this is what I've experienced in my practice, but you may be slightly different. You may be slightly more sensitive. So keep that in mind, but that's what I've seen. Some supplements will have 5 milligrams plus, and in cases like that, you're definitely going to be alert and awake and have more trouble sleeping if you take something like that before bed. The reason that methylfolate is more stimulating and tends to wake people up is that it is more closely connected or related to the production of neurotransmitters more so than the breakdown or elimination of neurotransmitters. So when you take methylfolate, you're actually making more dopamine, epinephrine, and serotonin. These are the same things that we said the SAMe helps break down. Well, not so much the serotonin, but definitely the dopamine and epinephrine. But methylfolate can actually help with the production of those same neurotransmitters and then add, in addition to that, the serotonin. And that's because methylfolate can actually help with the recycling of biopterin. Biopterin, or BH4, is needed in order to convert certain amino acids into their corresponding neurotransmitters. So I said that methylfolate can help with the production of neurotransmitters. Well, it does this through its support of the recycling process of BH4 or biopterin. Without the biopterin, you're not able to convert things like L-tyrosine into dopamine and things like 5-HTP into serotonin. The other thing that Gary Brekka says, and I totally agree with, is that there is so much potential in understanding these genetic alterations and how it might help your body overall in various ways that I've gone into in other videos, and also go into my book on MTHFR. Some people really are just 1 or 2 nutrients away of feeling their best or having a more optimal health. And I definitely agree with this too. And I hope that this video helps you better understand the connection between the MTHFR gene mutation and whether or not methylfolate is going to end up helping your anxiety or possibly being more of a hindrance to resolving that anxiety. If you do have questions about anything that we covered here in this video, definitely drop them in the comment sections. If you want a more customized, detailed answer, consider joining the membership program, or I'll have more time and attention to dedicate to your questions. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.